all day. But when I'm watching the fights, especially in London, fucking finish him, Paddy. First, he started off with a, then she.
Paddy could go fight McGregor right now, and I'm gonna say fuck McGregor.
But Paddy can go fight Floyd, and I'm being out there saying fuck the Mayweather. My dog Curtis Blades, though, Mr. I did
out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. You done stepped into the Fight Club. Before we talk this UFC London recap, do us a favor, go down, like this video, and do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel. I got my joint in front of me. I'm Paul Pickle Concha, and who else is with me to start this episode?
And I'm Kev, no memories, boy, motherfucking, because my high ass, you've been going through something in life, because I really don't remember shit from anything this weekend. But hey, man, this was motherfucking UFC London. Dos. You know what I'm saying? I got a 98% in Spanish at the moment, hopefully, if I get my homework done.
Holler.
You know what I'm saying? So you feel me? But this was kind of a, they saying this is more of a lackluster card for 9 decisions. So before we get too deep into it, I guess we don't really have to talk to prelims like that. How did you feel about the card itself? Because you can't compare the UFC London one. That was my favorite card of the year so far, personally. Can't compare to that. But like, how did you feel on this? Because we've seen so many great cards. Like, we just came back from Fight Island.
I will say, so this is probably some of the most prep I did for a card. I went out and got my UK beer, which I came on the episode with. Start off with the banana bread now. But
how that shit drink? What's that UK beer? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's good. This is banana bread beer, Eagle. I thought it said Eagle FC at first. I was
they put bananas in beer.
And then chocolate stout.
Chocolate? What?
That one's pretty good. It tastes almost like chocolate milk. I'm not gonna. These beers are pretty good.
No wonder they be so. No, I'm not gonna talk about them boys like that. But it must be easier to drink out there.
But with the card itself, I would rate it honestly, unbiasedly. I would put it at like a 6, just because. If I was adding in the hype that came with it, it's more at like a 5 and 4.5, just because of the hype that came with it and like what people expectations. Like, even if you don't want expectations, people will have expectations, and it was sold to us as another banger. And Molly McCann even came out and talked shit about the other fighters, saying that they didn't want it like she did. They didn't want the finish. I'm sorry they let you down. Like, she even apologized for the people who didn't get finishes. So, like, if other fighters can call it out, then I must not be the only one that wasn't really too impressed with what was going on in the card. I will say, though, it did have a huge upset when Mason Jones, who was like a minus 500 favorite, got beat pretty easily by Klein. And one of the few highlights of the card was Klein's little jumping karate kick.
That's funny, kid.
Yeah, you don't see that often. Like, that was something I was like, oh shit. But Mason Jones, I would give it to him. My boy got a chin. He took that beating he took that beating, and he even gave props to homeboy. But other than that, the card was kind of lackluster, and only because there wasn't many finishes. And hey, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some.
Dead ass. Dead motherfucking ass.
I feel like all the cards that banged are cards that I wouldn't say no one had hope for, but just reasonable expectations. But even like Israel and Volkanovski, which I love that card, but a lot of people were hating on that card. Colby versus Masvidal, people had a lot of hype for. People didn't like that card as much. Like, the ones people are hyped for, I just feel like you just blow expectations out of the water. And then
not UFC 280.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't dare.
You wouldn't dare.
But I look at the card. I've been hanging out with my brother a lot recently, so like, I'm just gonna say what the young bulls are saying right now. Shit was mid.
What the streets saying?
Shit was mid.
Mid? Oh shit.
Shit was mid. They could be killing me.
You telling me I'm smoking on the mid pack right now, bro? I can put this shit out.
I'm not smoking on a mid pack, but the shit was just because it's different. That's mid pack was mid pack back then. Now they just say shit was alright. They be like, man, shit mid. It was entertaining for me because I was in that bitch. I was having a great conversation, but I was in that bitch like, kill him, fuck that boy. Because I'm telling you, like, you see different sides of me. Like, if you're gonna watch a football, you might see
I-
like a little craziness come out, but I'm gonna be organized with it. You know, see, like these people see the organized me all day, but when I'm watching the fights, especially in London, fucking finish him, Paddy. What the fuck? And then when Molly got the,
Oh,
so
see,
I like the.
we about to get into that. So
I kind of like that shit.
the card was mid, but we also before we jumped into the main card, that boy Marcus will be joining us later. He'll come in, let us recap the rest of this main card. Before he hops in, let's get into it. We're not even gonna talk. I love Paul Craig, but I'm gonna do us a favor and not even talk about that fight. Like you want to pull guard every time someone wants to exchange with you, bro. I'm not gonna recap you. We have the fight that I want to think started off the main card for real. Molly Meatball McCann getting the KO on Hannah Goldie. And how did it go, Kev?
No, she said first she started off with a, then she. That shit looked like some anime shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. And like it was funny because like I was telling everybody, I was like, yo, my co-host literally hates this person right here. And the second I said that, she got to.
I don't hate her. I said she should win this fight. They're giving her, but for you to be in there for 5 years and you're still this is someone who fought on the Contender Series last year. Like, so
Damn.
yeah, like this is 5 years into it. You're on the main card and you're still getting people that are in their first couple fights in the UFC. But the way they sell her is like one fight away from a title shot.
It's just the Paddy Bradley combo. Like I feel like they're just gonna stay. They're gonna keep putting them two on cards, and it's just gonna be interesting.
No, and it was interesting because she got the crowd lit. She went up there, called everyone out that wasn't looking for finishes, just like how Dana White would call people out if they're not trying to finish fights. And then she throws on, even after getting the dub, but she showcased a spinning back elbow again, back-to-back times. She jumps over the cage again. UFC tries to hold her back, and she said, "Fuck all y'all, get out of my way." And she did her shit. She jumped on Dave Portnoy's, and Dave Portnoy's like that was the one time where I felt like UFC London was UFC London.
I liked it. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Molly fan. I'm gonna ride to the wheels fall off. I think the fall offs they're not gonna last too much longer because I don't know how many people are gonna keep letting her hit this elbow. But
It's on the scouting report.
yeah, like come on, dog. Watch the fucking elbow. It's like this is a hard thing to land. It's not like this is an 80%
Land rate.
Like 80% landing rate. Like this is a hard hit to get hit. But niggas just began hit with that motherfucker.
Sometimes it happens.
Oh my god.
Then did you see her post fight after the fight, everything? She has the Paddy wig on and she got a whole bottle, I think, of whiskey or something brown, and she's chugging it on ringside with the Paddy Pimblett haircut wig on. I mean, great entertainment. I'll give her that. I ain't a hater. I'll give her that.
They're entertainers, man. I'm like, they entertainers and they just happen to fight too.
Yeah, you said it best. Well, shit. That boy Marcus is calling in right now, so we're finna let him join the call, and we're finna break down that boy Gustafsson versus Krylov. I can't wait to talk this shit. Yeah, well, fucking on this main card, let's talk about your boy Alexander Gustafsson.
Damn, all right.
All
Bring my dog out, man.
Bring your mauler. And I'll let Marcus take the floor because he said don't talk about his mauler like that.
My man's went outside, man.
I try to warn y'all, brother. Like his last
Thing is, you called it right before it happened, too.
That boy has been in a heavy. Anytime a fighter goes from his normal weight class to a higher weight class, it's because he's not good at his weight class anymore. And then he got dusted by a 40-plus-year-old guy who got dusted by another 40-plus-year-old guy who's no longer in the UFC. Like it was just all the tales of like Gustafsson, outside of his one John Jones fight, he's not that guy.
He's not that guy. Nah, Should have listened to you, man. I was trying to root for mans.
But Nikolai Kryov, the very first exchange, I think first punch, just dropped him.
I think it was the first punch, bro. That's what made it look so much worse, bro. I was like, what the fuck was that? I was blood. I couldn't even believe it.
What about you, Kev? I know you had a busy weekend. Did you make it for that Guffinson KO?
I watched the whole main card, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't remember anything. I remember Molly. I remember Paddy. I remember Aspinall. And I remember screaming, yo, fucking kill him. And I don't think it was for Paddy. But I remember Gustin. But how did Gustin finish?
He got finished. That boy, like I said, first exchange, he got dropped. Like it was a first punch thrown, landed dead on the chin, dropped him.
Literally like some
stood on top of
shit.
him and has landed probably 20 plus untested grounded pounds before the ref was like, all right, yeah, no, this is enough.
That shit was sad. Just know that.
I forget this. My high ass.
But I mean, this was to expected. Kryov's a ranked light heavyweight contender who can stand and bang with anybody. So like you're gonna get a guy who has ring rust and shouldn't really be fine. I mean, even DC said, "Hey, bro, it's time to hang up the gloves, Gustafsson."
Damn, that's what he said to him.
Oh, this was
He tweeted it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
yeah,
thought you talking about the interview.
No, he tweeted out like you should hang up. Yeah, this is past Molly right before Paddy. This was one of the few KOs of the night.
Like the only one.
Now I remember. Yeah, that nigga did get his ass smashed.
I was going
Minute. Then we had a next fight that wasn't. I mean, it was another smash, but a different sort of smash. We had Paddy the Batty Pimblett getting the rear naked choke over Jordan Levitt, and I mean, I won't say it went exactly like how we thought it would, but Levitt used his wrestling, looked good. But then the BJJ is always gonna, especially if you're really good at BJJ, all it takes is a little while on the ground to get you, and that's what Paddy showed.
Paddy kept putting his ass in the fucking, what is it, the guillotine when they got him like right here?
Yeah.
Bro, every time dude's neck was in this, I was like, damn, get your,
Yeah,
why you doing that?
Paddy really showcased his skills on this one. I like that shit. But like, no kid, what got me was the post fight when that boy really was like, I'd rather have my mate crying on my shoulders than going to his funeral. I was like, oh my God.
That was a mean quote.
That nigga, he's number one in my heart.
Bro, he made me a 30 times more fan. I'm never talking down on Paddy no more because of that shit. Cause I respect him a lot for that, for real, what he said.
They could book Paddy against motherfucking Volkanovski tomorrow, and I'm a Paddy Pimblett. You got this.
Man, Paddy could go fight McGregor right now, and I'm gonna say fuck McGregor.
Okay, Paddy could go fight.
That's one of the biggest McGregor fans on here.
Yeah, literally, and I'm a McGregor fucking fan, boy. So
boy,
that's
Paddy
big.
could go fight Floyd, and I'm gonna be in that bitch saying fuck the Mayweathers. Like,
Yeah, fuck Mayweather's on tree.
Nah, real shit. Hey man, I just hope that he continues to get better. If anything out of Paddy, I just hope he continues because he has skills. Like he has skills. And I was watching this fight against Levitt, and I was like, okay, he's good. I don't think he beat the best right now, but if he just keeps getting better, keep getting that skin in the game, because he got a lot of fucking skin in the game. So he keep doing this thing, he might be able to figure something out.
Yeah, I think if he could work on that stand-up game more and get more efficient, maybe with like his right. He got, what is he?
BJJ
and judo.
Okay, so that's it. That's his go-to. Yeah, I would just like to see him more like maybe his kicks, fucking just striking. That would be soup, man. But I think he still got a bright future, and I think this was a good showcase. I did like what he did though when he had him, bro, because if you break that whole sequence down, man, that shit was kind of crazy. I was getting, because y'all been putting me on more of the MMA shit, so I feel like I've been learning more when I see certain shit. I was like, damn, bro, that boy Paddy literally, like, I forget what he did to trap his arm. He did some shit to even trap his arm, and then for him to even hold his arm and not let his arm up, and you can't fight someone with just one hand. So eventually, bro, it was like he's gonna grab your neck eventually, and that shit was that was a beautiful little moment for real.
Hey, on ESPN Plus, can you rewatch the fights?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I'm debating on getting that or Fight Pass. I need it. I'd be too high.
So I will say this is a great showcase on Paddy, but I will say this was a perfect setup. But UFC sometimes they do a perfect matchmaking. Like they get a person who you should be able to show your skills on, because Jordan Levitt has no hands. Like that was his big thing. Like he does not throw.
He didn't even want to throw.
Yeah, so like with Paddy, it was like, well, we get to see him actually exchange and win exchanges, because even against scrubs, he's looked kind of bad in his stand-up game. But then against a wrestler who's a really great offensive wrestler, we saw his BJJ take full showcase. And like, as long as they keep slowly moving him up the ladder, I do expect big things out of that boy.
Dude, well, I got a question. Do you think they should rush it, or do you think they should stay on the route they're on right now with him? Because it reminds me like a boxing situation. I've seen all the young boxing guys go through the same thing where it's just, they're going to win. It's just how good do they look and how long do they stay on that route?
I think they're going to slowly do it. But what's up? What you take it, Kev?
I think it would be smart. It would be smart to slowly do it, but in a different world, it's actually, I feel like it's also smarter to turn it up a little bit, just because like they're gonna continue to say like, oh, you're not good against, you don't face good talent. So like if they were to do like how they just did Sugar Sean and booked him with Peter Yan, like if they were to get him somebody that was like maybe not top 5 immediately, but like top 6, top 7, like a real deal, like show that's been a dude that's been beaten by the best, and then like see, even if he fucks Paddy up, which I wouldn't be rooting for that to happen, motherfucker. But if he were to fuck Paddy up, it would still be like, okay, now you can throw that stigma away, because like he's finding some good talent. In UFC, the first loss isn't one loss isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, but that's a luxury in the UFC for real.
I will say though, because of Khamzat Chimaev is the reason why people want to see people be getting rushed. It's because we saw him go against Gilbert Burns in like his 4th fight, and then now Sugar Sean. He was just had a big mouth for somebody who didn't fight nobody yet. So we wanted to see him rush for the, like, answer what you've been talking. With the good thing about Paddy, though, is in the lightweight division, there's so many names. He could fight Tony Ferguson. He's number 11 in division. And you could still get a ranked opponent. You can fight Armin Sarukian, who we just saw put on a wrestling clinic and lost. You can fight Jalen Turner, 6'5" lightweight. Like RDA, who looks like he's on a foot out. Rafael Vaziev is now top 7. But like these are all people who are around that 10 to 15 range. And like you can still get the experience. You can beat a name without having to go immediately in the top 5 like other divisions. Lightweight is so deep, you can fight a good guy without going hard in the paint.
Right.
That's real.
Then let's talk this co-main event, because it had more action than our main event, unfortunately, which we saw Jack Hermansson take on Chris Curtis. That boy Jack Hermansson, honestly, I thought it was a good fight by him. No one really thought he was going to win the stand-up fight. Everyone thought Chris Curtis had the answer for him. I knew I did. And Jack Hermansson was kind of like that top 8 dot guy that no one really cared about anymore. Like he's just now a gatekeeper. So for him, it was kind of on the back foot, stepping away, hitting his shots while backing up the whole time, which some people will complain about, because all you're doing is hitting him and not generating no power type shit. But then again, it's like, hey, bro, if he could have stopped me, he could have stopped me. And he didn't. And I put up like 120 piece on him. So take it how you want it.
That's a lot of pieces.
Then you had I thought the best part about this fight was Chris Curtis flicking him off at the end of the fight, doing the whole. And I mean, there was a lot of shit. I think Jack Hermansson called him a pussy ass bitch at the end of the fight. There's a lot of drama at the end of this fight.
Did they fight, or was they just like kind of just people rapping and shit, talking shit?
They didn't fight afterwards, but there was people. Whenever if no one was there would definitely been a fight, because Hermansson, who's basically like a class act and doesn't say much about anything, for him to come out of character and call someone a pussy ass bitch or something like that's different. Like that
boy had to be pushed.
And then Chris Curtis flicking him, coming like Nate Diaz style, like what's up, bitch, walking up like that. Like, yeah, bro, there was definitely, if no one was there probably would have been some extra innings.
Some extra innings. Like soccer, they got that extra time.
Yeah, man, that definitely would have been it. But other than the fight itself, I think everyone had it 27-30 all at Hermansson. And Chris Curtis, class act himself, came out, apologized for his mannerisms at the end of the fight, for what he had said. And
got the fight book.
And then he basically was just like, I lost. Playing a day. He beat me.
Probably the heat of the moment type shit.
No one trains 6 weeks to go get beat 30-27.
Yeah, it's hard to take that in the chin, and especially in front of a crowd, man.
That shit is hurtful. Nah, 30-27 is bad, but like that 50-45.
Like significant strikes. So total strikes for Jack Hermanson was 100. Significant strikes, 100. And so not Jack, but the Chris Curtis is 43. So he doubled him basically, a little bit more to double him. But again, it was all off the back foot. Almost to me was Nate Diaz-esque. A lot of jabs and the straight punches off the back foot that you know is not going to knock him out. But to the judges, you just got outpointed by a lot.
Yeah, that's real.
How to work the system.
But we got to talk this main event before our special guest, Marcus, dips out on us. Thank you for joining us again, Marcus, for this UFC London. I forgot to showcase. I don't know if I brought it up, but I got my British beer on deck.
The Banana Man.
Curtis Blades, 15-second KO of Tom Aspinall.
That's how it goes down?
This is back-to-back weeks for first minute injuries, and in the UFC, those are you can't get a no contest off an injury. I guess someone had recently let me know, so that's how he got it.
That's crazy.
I had to go check it out, so I listened to Charles Sonnen. So the way Charles Sonnen explains this shit, he says not only did Tom Aspinall go, he said like Keon verbally said, no, don't stop, because he was hurt. So that's pretty much in Charles Sonnen's mind, that's him quitting. And like, it's not quitting, but that's also like, but like in wrestling, you do this. This is like your like medical this. But in the UFC, there are no timeouts. So like, that's just the difference. So like, after seeing that happen 2 weeks in a row, it's tough. That is your like main, that was the headliner and stuff like that. But I understand it because like, when last week Ortega split his shit when the second it got put in a submission. So obviously there's something going on right here. But like at least he did it. Aspinall, at least he got hit. What did he got hit like 6 times?
I know he got, that's what me and Marcus before. He got hit 4 times, but one of those he did get cracked. And then Tom Aspinall, after getting cracked, sends in the leg kick, which Curtis Blades checked. And then that leg kick, and then I actually watched the video of a doctor breaking it down. It's so much worse because he hit shin on shin or something like that. Like it was
bone on bone is the worst.
Yeah, it wasn't just a calf. He hit. He led with his shin, and you can see in the video his leg like bend like that. Like your leg ain't supposed to bend forward.
Damn, I didn't know it looked that bad.
Nah, that shit is tragic.
He didn't get up for a while. Dude was sitting on the mat for a minute.
He dropped.
It's like when McGregor sat on the mat talking shit still.
Oh yeah, he was like, "Your wife's telling me DMs." That boy is a fucking savage.
Bring out the red panties. But no, he's probably gonna be gone for a little second. I just hope he comes back with the legs better. Like, and then that's tough because checking the leg kick is.
That's a tough injury to come back too, man. That's probably gonna be a little minute before you see him again.
Do y'all think? I'll throw this to Mark. Being a boxer, do you think? Because when you talk about Jose Benavidez, who had leg injuries and hasn't looked like the same fighter since, Tom Aspinall, he's known for his quickness and mobility, and his boxing expertise. Do you think a leg injury like that might make him look? Because we've seen other fighters not look the same, especially with like bad leg.
Nah, definitely. Because I mean, you could also look at it in an aspect of football too, like when running backs blow their knee or something, like they come back. Did they have that? Nay, he hasn't took a bad injury yet. But when you like Saquon's a good example. He tore his whole knee out, and he doesn't really cut. Like you just know he doesn't have that same like extra kick in him. Yeah. And I mean, you could look at that in the fighting world, and like we gotta see if even McGregor can come back the same. But I forget McGregor. What was his like? I forget what he broke exactly. But either way,
a bone or femur. femur.
Right. Either way, like a leg injury like that, like you gotta have to go through the rehab, and then you also gotta get through the fact in your head, like the mental aspect of, all right, can I put pressure on this leg? Can I be comfortable on this leg? Can I still kick with this leg? Like, is he gonna still be like, like confident with that leg as he was before? So there's a bunch of things, and hopefully he can get back to it. Cause that would suck if he doesn't ever look the same. But I doubt that. I think he'll get back to his regular stuff.
My dog Curtis Blades, though, Mister. I think this is the next. You got to go for the number one, but because he's gonna fight the winner out of Gane and Tuivasa. So like my boy is off his way. Because like he's only lost twice, and it was to Nagano, right?
No, he has 3. Derek Lewis and twice to Nagano.
Oh, Derek Lewis, but Derek Lewis caught him. I feel like he was winning. I heard he was winning.
Most knockouts ever.
That's some straight losses, bro.
Yeah. And he was beating Derek Lewis, had 20 takedowns within 2 rounds before Derek Lewis just happened to put the perfectly timed uppercut when he shot a takedown and right on. Yeah, right. You can just picture head down going in, like the nights out. But
that's how Masvidal got on Ben Askren bitch ass.
But this is a different Curtis Blades. We saw him fight Chris Dawkins and look like a boxer. Then we saw him in the first 15 seconds, Aspinall, and crack him. I mean, my personal opinion, others people will defer with that, but I saw within 15, I thought he dropped because of the punch. It took the replay to let me know, oh, he threw a kick afterwards. I thought it was just a late reaction. You see it sometimes with a late reaction, and then all of a sudden they drop. Because Curtis Blades caught him with a mean, like, 1-2, and I was like, I still think if that fight would have went all the way, Blades would have won. Just because his wrestling, and he looked like he had efficient hands. Like, we're seeing a different Blades in his past 2 fights.
It's tough.
In that prime.
It's tough. Maybe I think if they make the interim belt, we'll see him with a belt. But it's tough because like if Nagano stays, it's a tough dude to beat.
100%. If he stays, though, that's the big thing.
But if he goes,
and Derek Lewis is out, and he's already beat Aspinall, and the only person in front of him is Gane Tuivasa. I mean, you're just 1 step away. I'd rather be 1 step away than 2.
Yeah, and then the loser of Gane Tuivasa probably will fade whoever. If there's it's gonna be a nice if there's an interim belt. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward. I hope they make it up.
The rise of the heavyweights.
I still fuck with my dog Francis Mbaku Ngannou.
Baddest man on the planet.
After me. But hey man, this has been the whole card, man. What time we running on? Ooh, we gotta go. So if you don't know, we really don't got time to tell you. But I'm gonna tell you anyways that this has been a Totally Blitz podcast. I'm in this bitch with Paul Pick'em, Wyndham Concert. We in this bitch with Marcus Primetime, man. And if you didn't know, now you know. Yep.
Got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools, you can call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes. This ain't